Hey, what's up? My name is Adam, and this is going to be one of the best videos you will ever see about how to thrive and succeed on Upwork. Before we get into it, I just want to say that you can have all the skills in the world. You can be the best coder, you can be the best designer, you can be the best writer, but if you don't know how to use Upwork properly to get clients, you're just not going to make that much money. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do in order to be successful. But why should you listen to me? So first off, this is my Upwork profile right here, Adam M. And I am writing about data science. Well, I will get into exactly what I do, but I have earned over I've earned over 10K on Upwork. I've done over 19 jobs and almost hit 200 hours worked. I've currently got two big clients. One of them is creating online courses, paying me $65 an hour. And then the other one is writing for a American-based startup, writing articles, and they pay me $50 an hour. I'm just about to finish. I've earned $1,750 this week. Might get it up to $2,000 by the end of the weekend. We will see. But all of that is great if I was doing it for 10 years, but I've only just had, on the 9th of June, my 1-year anniversary of learning to code. So I've gone from not knowing any coding at all to being paid $65 an hour and $50 an hour by several clients. I'm completely full up and making loads of money. So I want to share this with you. Chris asked me to share this with you because I've learned a lot in my time figuring out how this works, and I didn't have this, or I didn't have it in a way that's going to be as digestible and as easy for you to understand when I started out. I made lots of mistakes, and I want to rectify those, and I want you to not make the same mistakes I did so that you can just start making money as soon as possible. So the first thing that I think is really important is belief. I started really trying to make money after I bought the freelancer course, and like the Python freelancer course, the Thinkster one, and that was in October 2019. You can see up here it is June now, 2020, and I didn't believe that you could make money on Upwork. I genuinely thought it was a race to the bottom. I thought it was just going to be $5 an hour, rubbish work. No one's making like $100 an hour there. It's mental. But that isn't true. I was also kind of spinning my wheels a bit, doing a few different things. So I was reading up about these make money as a freelancer gurus. I bought some books. I was reading content. I'd signed up to email newsletters, and they were all saying so many different things. So there's a guy, Kai Davies, for example, who's like really, really well known, and he doesn't like Upwork and said that he doesn't recommend doing that. He would recommend for example, like build an email list or go to in-person networking events or like do cold LinkedIn emails or cold emails to people and all this. And all of these are fine and could work, but there's just so many options out there that can work that it can be a bit overwhelming. So what I want to show you in this video is like how much money you can make on Upwork. So as I've just said, I've made like $2,000 this week. So if we times that by 4, that's $8,000 in a month pretty happily, which I think is great. I'm aiming for 10K a month, and I'll be moving beyond that as well. But you can definitely make $10,000 a month billing hourly on Upwork, no problem at all. So first things first, I would say, if you want to do Upwork, do it. If you want to do something else, do that. But if you're trying to do Upwork whilst also trying to build an email list and trying to do other things, then it's not going to work. The only other thing I would say you can do at the same time is if you go to in-person networking events. And that was something I couldn't do because I work and travel at the same time. So I'm currently in Bulgaria right now in a tiny little ski town. And therefore there aren't really any in-person networking events for me to meet people who would want to hire me. So that's the only thing. If you want to do Upwork, commit 100% to Upwork. You can make loads and loads of money doing it. Just forget all the other stuff. You can maybe do that in future if you want or need to. The second thing is I'm going to prove to you now that you can make loads of money. So obviously I've just shown you how much I'm making, but you can literally search. If you go onto Upwork and search for freelancers and agencies, you can search for people who are doing the job you want to do. Now, we'll get into that in a moment. But before that, really, before you start searching, you need to figure out what you want to do. So therefore, you need to figure out, like, what is your skill? Is it UX design? Is it UI design? Is it coding? What type of coding is it? Is it product management? Is it legal services? Is it accounting? Figure out what you want to do. Get a nice general overview idea. Now, it's fine if you're not exactly sure exactly where you want to niche down. Having a general idea is good enough. Then what you can do is go to the jobs and start searching for the types. Just start searching these general terms. So for me, I do, as you can see here, writing and content creation for data science and Python. And then I also do machine learning. So I'm a machine learning engineer as well. And what I did is, there are so many jobs on there. So if you click on this and press return, you'll get a more interactive, a better job search experience. So I literally just did data science and searched. And you'll see that there's like 204 jobs found, which is quite a lot of jobs. And it means there's a good amount of volume there. Now, for your particular job, there may be less. So you'll have to basically research is the first pillar, really. It's the first thing you need to do. So do data science, and then I can literally just look through all of these and see, oh, web scraping. What does this job, how does this sort of sound? Like, I know personally, I don't really like web scraping, so I don't want to do that. Or full stack developer, like that's not me. But a Python and data science tutor, ding, 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 I really, really, really want to do that. In fact, one of my jobs that we'll see when we go through the reviews later was tutoring some on this. So this is a perfect one for me. Another one, data scientist. You see that hourly rate is really low. Basically, you can just go through all of them. So again, another Python tutor, that would be great for me. C#, don't really like this. Research scientist. So some things that I realized I wanted to do is I wanted to do some computer vision projects. So I would then start looking for computer vision. And you'll see that there's way less, about half the number of jobs. But going through and seeing, what do these jobs actually require? Do they need, like, what are they asking me to do? Which libraries do I need to use? And therefore, that gives me power and knowledge, which then I can go away and create my own custom project with which to use to apply for jobs like this in future. And we'll get to that a bit more in detail later on. So yeah, look for the jobs and look for what people are actually paying money for, and then obviously craft what you're learning and what your skill set is towards that. So if you're not sure, just have a quick search of all the words that you think you might find interesting. For example, I do a lot of writing, but I only want to write about programming. I have no interest writing about general blogging stuff like cooking. I would hate to write an article about that, or exercise or meditation or whatever. Not that interested, because my current goal is to become a data scientist, a machine learning engineer, and so therefore I want every piece of work that I'm doing to feed into that. So if I'm writing a blog article about cooking, that's not really going to help me. So that's step one. Figure out what you want to do and do some research. And when you've done all this research, you can make lots of notes and you'll see patterns coming up again and again. So for me, tutoring, awesome. Computer vision projects, awesome. Building machine learning, supervised machine learning algorithms, awesome. Doing data analysis, great. But doing data analysis with these particular libraries, no, because I don't understand them and I don't want to learn them. So that might be a bit of jargon there that you didn't fully understand all of that, and that's okay. I'm just giving you examples from data science. Let me think of and then writing as well. Like if you only want to write about sports, that might be fine. You'll have to do the research and see, are there enough sports writing jobs out there? But if there aren't, you're going to have to expand out what you want to write about. Maybe you'll be okay writing about pets and cooking as well, but you literally don't know anything about the law or taxes, so you can't write about that. So that's up to you to find and do the research. This is a key important foundation that everything else is going to be built on, and it's where your confidence will come from, because you'll know, oh, there are enough jobs out there like this that I can apply to, and I am a good fit for these jobs because X, Y, and Z. Again, we'll get to that in a moment, but yeah, really key. Then the flip side to this is you can search for freelancers and agencies. So when you do this, again, we're just going to hit return and we'll get this better search bar up. You want to search for people doing exactly what you want to do. So like I said, I want to do data science. Note that if you put it in quotes, it will search for that exact term. Whereas if you don't put it in quotes, it will search for data and science separately. So it might get people coming up who are data analysts or data engineers or whatever, something that they just say data in them, but not specifically data science. So another quick tip there. If we hit return, one thing I want to do is I want to see the people who have earned the most and are billing the most as well. So this guy straight away, what an absolute like killer profile we can see here. $100 an hour, 300K earned, 94% job success. Like this is, when I saw this, I was like, awesome. I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars through Upwork, and you can probably do the same thing. So let's just go into one of these now that I don't know anything about. So let's go into legal. I'm just going to search general, or I'm going to search immigration law, and we'll see what comes up. So here we go. Boom. Look at this. Corporate attorney, $95 an hour, 60K earned. Great. $80 an hour, 1K earned. Okay, not as good. So what else do we want to see? So yeah, again, $70 an hour, 30K earned. Like this is great. They specialize in intellectual property law. So if you know something about intellectual property law, you will at some point eventually be able to be charging like $70 an hour or $95 an hour. This is great. It means people are being paid to do these things. And another thing is that everything on Upwork is public. So let's scroll down. So look, you can see what people are being paid. So let's just look at this lawyer here. So fixed price contract, $95 for 1 hour. So she's been doing loads of fixed price contracts, which to be honest is a bit, I personally don't like that. I want to bill hourly. So I think it's cool, for example, here, an immigration lawyer in Canada, she's billing $75 an hour here. And some other $95 hour things. But lots and lots of fixed price stuff for this woman. That's okay. She's still earning a lot. Let's go down to this guy, $70 an hour. And let's see. So look, he's clocked a lot of hours. So we should see some more. Okay, because he has a lot of jobs in progress. So he's got some fixed price stuff. And then he's got, here we go. So this is the biggest one he's doing, only $35 an hour, which isn't ideal. However, it does show you, this isn't the best example. I wanted to get an example of someone like billing a lot of hours, and you can see it on their profile. This guy. Yeah, okay, cool. This guy. So he has an hourly rate of $55, earned over 100K, and he's billed like thousands of hours. And if we scroll down, we see fixed price, that's okay. But then, boom, $55 an hour, 7 hours, $55 an hour, 12 hours, $55 an hour, 28 hours, $55 an hour, 14 hours. This is excellent. And you can see, like, ends in November, like, all of this is going on. All of this is quite recent. It therefore means that there's a lot of work like this going on, and people are willing and are paying people $55 an hour to do this kind of work. That means you can do so as well. Awesome. So do some research on the people that you're competing against, and this is super helpful. So I'm going to go back to data science just because it's the one I understand the best, and I think I can help you out the most. So we'll go to this guy and click on their profiles, create an Excel document basically with their profile link. Whoa, it's frozen. Here we go. With their profile link, and read every single like top performers profiles. So see, are they using specialist profiles? Yes, they are. He's got a data analytics one and a machine learning one. What is the order of them? So we can see here, like, how is this structured? Like, boom, really good. Really good title first. Well, I don't know. I'm actually not sure about the title. It's a bit generic for my liking, but whatever, it's fine. look, he's got positive review, positive review, positive review, and then he's look at all this effort he's put into this, and again, like, he's explaining what he's done, he's explaining why he's good for this, and what he's going to provide you with, and then also some stuff about what you can do as well. Like, I will dive in more in general, but reading the top people on Upwork, that reading their profiles, copying and pasting it, taking idea, obviously don't copy paste it into your profile, but taking ideas from it is just golden. I've taken a lot of things and added it to my profile from these like top data scientists, and also it's given me such confidence to start charging things like an hourly rate of $100 an hour. Like, I know I will be able to get to that level eventually because he's doing it. And look at it. 8 hours at 100, 2 hours, 13 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours. It's just non-stop. So to me, when I saw this, I thought, yes, this is great. So yeah, build an Excel document. Let me see actually if I have mine here. So is it this? I don't think it's this one. Nope. No. Upwork proposals. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure where mine is, but basically I filled out this Excel document with all the information in, and I used all of that, of their best bits, to basically copy them and add all my favorite bits to my profile. So that is the first step. Research into jobs so you know what you can apply for, and research into your competitors so you know, like, what are the people charging $100 an hour? What are they doing? And then also going down and looking at the cheaper end. This is something that's really important too. And seeing, like, what are people paying $20 an hour for? What are they paying $30 an hour for? Because if you're just starting out, as I was, like, I couldn't code just over a year ago, then I'm not going to be charging $100 an hour. But what are the people getting paid $30 an hour doing? How skilled are they? One thing I found was that I actually felt a bit disheartened because I saw the people charging $100 an hour, and they all had like decades of experience. And then I saw the people charging $50 an hour, and they also had decades of experience, but were just from India or from Pakistan, and so their rate was half. And I was like, how am I going to compete with these people? But then I saw more people kind of charging, like this guy, $30 an hour, and seeing like what are people paying him to do. So comprehension of Jupyter notebooks, great. Okay, man, this guy seems a bit odd, but by diving in, you'll just get that knowledge of the community, and so when you see certain jobs, you'll go, oh, okay, like they'll expect to pay this amount for this job, and I'm probably not qualified for this job. But then once you figure out, oh, like I can compete with this guy, like I can do the things he's doing or she's doing, then it just gives you so much confidence. So that's the first thing, research. Another thing you can do is post your ideal job. Spend time thinking about it, write it down, and post it as a job on Upwork. It's completely free to do this. You can just create a client account, and then all the people that apply, you can read. Well, it's great because it gives you the feeling of being the client, so you know what your clients are going through when they receive your proposals. But you can also, oh, sorry, I'm just stretching my back. But you can also, again, get people applying, like your ideal job. Let's say you figure out, like, you think your rate should be $40 an hour. Just set that on the job and see, again, the people who apply. And again, you can just like take some nice bits from them. You can see what their proposals were like. You can see what the good proposals were, what the bad proposals were. And also, I think by becoming really clear on what your perfect job is, when you then see, you'll just know in your head when you read another job that, boom, I'm perfect for this, and it will come out in your proposal, in your writing. So that's you should definitely do that. Another thing which I didn't do, but it could be really interesting, is you could message the really, really top people. So for example, the guys we were seeing before being paid $100 an hour, and you could say, hey, I'm just starting out and I'd love to pick your brain for an hour. Maybe you could even, I don't know, you could say, look, I'll pay you like $30 or $50 or something. Or if you can pay them for $100, do it. And just ask them all the questions you have, like how did they get started? What advice would they have? Can you build a relationship with them? All this good stuff. I think that's something I haven't done yet, but I'm still planning to do. And I think would be super, super, super valuable. Okay. Next, moving on to the profile. So you've done your research, you know what kind of jobs you want to apply for, you know what the really good people are doing, you know what the mid-level people are doing, charging $70, $50 an hour, you know what the people who are charging $10 an hour, $30 an hour, and now you have so much information, you want to craft it to make your profile awesome. So let me go through my profile. And I think I really like my profile. I think it's awesome, and I think you'll get a lot of value from this. So first things first, your picture. Have a professional business looking picture. This is a business profile. You are a professional. You are amazing. You are going to over deliver and give your clients the best experience they can possibly have. So get a good business picture. Pay for one if you have to. iPhone cameras are crazy good nowadays. You don't need a crazy good camera or a photographer or whatever. You need a good business picture because it's important. Next thing you can do is you can add this little green ring around it if you want. Just go onto like Canva or something, or go onto Microsoft Word or whatever, and just add this little green thing around it. It looks cool. Obviously, I have dark mode for everything, but when it's in light mode, you can see it just makes you stand out a little bit more. And again, it fits with the Upwork color scheme and makes you look a bit more professional, I think. Another thing is this location, right? I have only seen one job that said you needed to be like in the UK, and well, okay. My point is, when you're doing your research, you will see where the top people live. So I would recommend actually like not telling the truth on this, basically. So if you're like, I'm not from London. I don't live in London. I have no intention of living in London in the near future. I have lived in London, but yeah, I'm actually from Manchester. I currently live in Bulgaria. I may start living in Barcelona. But having London on there for me as a British person is really, really valuable because people view that as a really high value city. Same thing if you're American. If you put New York, if you put LA, if you put one of these like big well-known cities, I think that could actually play nicely to you. Likewise, if you're from Europe, and you're from Spain, maybe put you're from Barcelona rather than, I don't know, some small Spanish town that no one's heard of, for example. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this, but my company is actually set up in Estonia. So I originally had it up as I was in Estonia. And I don't think that was good for me because people are like, oh, whether you like it, like this is the reality. People would think that someone like a British, again, when I'm saying that I'm a native speaker, would like have more value, I think. And that's not to diss anyone from other countries. Like if you're from another country, you can still make so much money. I'm just saying, if you have something like that, then put it to your, like use it if you can. But I wouldn't outright lie at all. Like if you actually are from Estonia, just say you're from Estonia. As that's a little thing. You need to have specialized profiles, okay? I had my general profile up and I was applying for machine learning jobs, and I didn't get anything for like a week and a half. And as soon as I put my machine learning profile up and it's pretty much the same thing. It's very, very, very similar. We'll go through it in a second. But you like, clients will see it and they would rather take someone who's a specialist in the thing that they are hiring for than not. So you need to have a specialized profile. It can, if you really like, it can be a carbon copy paste of your general one, but putting the time and effort into this is one of the most important things and most valuable things you can do. So let's move on now to the actual content of the profile. First off, let's just look at my one. I'll move my face over here. Let's look at my one and just see, like, what it looks like visually just as we're scrolling down. So first thing I see, I read, the title, Expert Educational Writer and Content Creator, Data Science and Python. Cool. I see these little stars. I really like this. And there's a quote, Adam is one of the best freelancers I've ever hired. He completed quality work within an extremely short time frame. Highly recommended freelancer. That's from Chris, the CEO of Thinkster, who I'm sure you know if you're watching this video. Then we scroll down a bit more stars for more quotes. And then look at these. I love these so much. The green emojis. Look, tick, 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 standing out there, reading it, going, oh, this is literally what people do. It seems silly, but they read it going, oh, there's green ticks on there. That means he knows what he's doing. And you'll see actually on my machine learning profile, it's a similar story, but I actually put red ticks here. So you may have had bad experiences working with these freelancers. Ooh, like they don't do these things, but oh, I do all of these things. Isn't this amazing? That's one thing you can do. I'd really recommend making use of emojis. It really makes you stand out. And again, some more quotes and quotes. But what if you don't have quotes? Okay, what if you don't actually have any reviews? So if you have reviews that are good, you must put them in your profile description. Definitely need to be opening with one. You'll see a lot of people like this guy. You see here. Whoa, is it going to work? Yeah, so he starts with 1 quote, 2 quotes, 3 quotes. So 3 positive reviews, very detailed positive reviews. That's one thing you can do. I decided to start with 1 and kind of sprinkle the other reviews in. I've actually got quite a lot more reviews since I wrote this, so I probably will revamp it. But if you have great reviews, you must use them and must include them in your profile, because someone else saying, oh, I paid this person to do this thing and they did a really good job and I would happily pay them again, that's worth so much more to someone who wants to hire you than you saying, I can do this thing. Like, it's actual proof that you've done it before and were successful, and people will be way more likely to hire you because of it. Okay, so that's kind of the overview. Another thing is it's long, okay? This is, you have to scroll down quite a bit. It's kind of like 2 pages in length, I would say here. And this is a thing from sales copy. So people who write like advertisements for a living and write sales letters, is a blanket rule that longer is better. The more you read about someone, if you read all the way to, if you read 50 pages about how amazing someone is versus 1 paragraph, if you actually read those 50 pages, you're going to be like, whoa, this person's amazing, I want to hire them. And even if you don't, even if you skim read 50 pages, it's again going to be better than 1 paragraph. You need to pour your heart and soul into this. Now, as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about this and I'm quite able to talk and talk and talk. And I know most people can't do that. So what are some ways that you can learn to do that? Okay, one of them is read this book. It's called The Advertising Solution, and it's going to absolutely blow your mind. I have a friend who is a copywriter. That means he writes ad copy for a living, and he makes over $200,000 a month, US dollars. And I asked him what are his top books he recommends, and he recommended this book to me. Basically, it takes 6 of the all-time greats advertisers and condenses all their information down into 1 book, and this is the book. It will make you thousands and thousands of dollars. I cannot recommend it enough. It's incredible. And in that's where I got the rule, longer is better, for example. And that will get you thinking about how to write sales copy, because this is sales copy, okay? You are selling yourself on here. You have to truly believe, you have to figure out what you're actually good at and what differentiates you. So I was actually talking to my friend before filming this video, and he has a decade of experience in Python development, and I have a year of experience in Python development, and I'm actually being paid more than him. It's $65 an hour versus $60 an hour. And this is to both of us, this is crazy. And he actually thinks he's being underpaid, which is true. But that's beside the point. You can sell yourself into a lot of money if you know what you're doing. So you don't have to spend lots of time on rubbish 10-hour $10 an hour work, you can like go for the big leagues to start. So all of this is me saying like, you need to sit down and you need to start writing about why you're amazing. You need to believe in yourself, okay? And one thing that people can find difficult is like, oh no, I don't want to brag or whatever, but this is your sales page. This is people, like I worked as a recruiter in London for 8 months for a top tech recruitment firm, and I've read hundreds of CVs in that time. And it's such a breath of fresh air when someone is confident about what they can deliver. They know exactly what they can do. For example, I know that I'm going to give you the best Python and data science and machine learning engineering content that no one else can do. Why am I the best? I've only been doing this for a year. Surely someone with 2 decades of experience would be better than me and would charge more than me. Well, first off, they might charge more than me, so I'm the cheaper option. But actually, I market myself as the premium option because I'm more engaging than anyone else, and because I've been when I came up with this line, this blew my mind. You will hopefully have moments like this as well. Feel free to steal this if you're a newbie. But because I've only been learning for a year, my knowledge is closer to that of the students, and therefore I can actually better serve the students because I remember what it's like to be a student who doesn't know how to code. So I can actually understand what they're going through way better than someone who has 20 years of experience because they don't know what it's like to be a student. And it's this like reframe where I'm trying to sell myself as creating Python educational content. That's why they will want to pick me. Also, I believe my content is amazing, and when I do my work, it is amazing. I always over deliver. So these are some things that I have in my mind. Another thing is this section here. Here is why you'll wish we started working together sooner. So I thought of like, what are some things I saw in other people's profiles which I didn't like, and what I also, you can read all the reviews of people as well that people have left, and you can see what gets positive reviews. This is a key thing I forgot to say. So when you're doing research here on your other stuff, go down to their reviews and read them all. So for example here, excellent work in producing a quick turnaround for a very time-sensitive data analysis report. His input was critical. So from this, for example, straight away, a quick turnaround for a time-sensitive report. Therefore, like I read this a lot, saying that like speed is really important and hitting deadlines is really important. So I put it in, I think I put it in my machine learning one. Meet every deadline you give him. Okay, does not stop until the job is completed to your satisfaction as well. That's another one. Basically, read through them, you'll get some ideas, but the biggest one you're going to find is that everyone mentions communication and how important communication is. So I think this is perfect for me because I actually don't know how to code that well, but I sell myself as having exceptional communication skills, and I live up to that when I work with clients. I give my clients daily updates on my progress, and I'm honest with them. I can have actual conversations with them. I understand the work that I'm doing, and I can present it to them in a way that they understand and will get value from. And this is where, like, some people, for example, if they've hired loads of like developers who aren't non-native speakers and they've had a bad experience, I can push on that and say, oh, well, I'm a native speaker, I will understand everything you're telling me, and therefore you should hire me. Now, your situation might be different. Maybe you're not a native speaker, but my point is I'm trying to say the things that I figured out through my research and why, therefore, how I'm presenting myself in a better way. Whereas if you are a non-native speaker, maybe you can say that your English is amazing, maybe you could spend time, if your English isn't very good and you're having trouble with clients, improving your English skills. Or if it is good, like say that you're amazing at English. Maybe do a little certificate, like proving that you're really good, and working on it. Some people really value that, and I found that the people paying the high bucks, at least for data science, found that very valuable. So that's where I've kind of put pressure on in my sales to say, therefore you should hire me because I have great communication skills. Okay. Sorry. So as you can see, I'm very passionate about this. I'm very excited. This is the kind of mindset you need to get into when you start writing. And when you start writing, this is what you need to do. You need to just sit down with a blank piece of paper and just say, like, why am I so amazing? And just keep writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. Don't filter it. Don't think about it. No one else has to see it. This is the time when you can just go crazy. You can say you're the best in the world. You can say you're great. You can say, like, no one can compete with me because of this. And, like, write down loads and loads and loads of different ways. Learn how to, like, free associate and just write and write and write. There's this great guy, James Altucher, who has written loads of amazing books. And one of his, like, key ideas that he does in his life is he says, like, every morning he writes down 10 ideas for the day, like business ideas or things he could do to improve his life. And this is a really good way, a really good habit to get into if you want to learn how to just be more creative and come up with ideas. And he says, if you can't write down 10, write down 20. The idea being that it's only because you're judging them that it's difficult. Like, I write down, like, you might write for an hour and, like, only a third of it will be useful, but that third will be so good and you'll have just got all of this, like, nonsense out of your system. Like, just even answering that question, like, why am I so amazing? And try and write 10, 20, 50 answers to that are all different. And then you can just add the best ones into your profile. That'll be really, really, really cool. Another thing to think about is, why are other people bad? Like, what are they doing wrong? What could my clients have experienced that would put them off from hiring? What do they not want to experience again? For example, so in my machine learning one, it says you may have had bad experiences working with freelancers who don't listen, cannot communicate, never meet deadlines, have no clue what you're talking about, and can't work well in teams. Note here that none of the things I've written are to do with coding. And that's because I personally can't compete with anyone on coding. If someone has 10 years coding experience, they're going to be a way better coder than me. But I can say I will be better than them because I can listen better. And I can communicate better than them. And I will always meet whatever deadline you set to me. And I integrate effortlessly into your teams. So these are the pros for me. Your pros might be different, but these are just some ideas for you. Another thing, so basically write all that down. And then just try and get it. If you read the advertising solution, that will really help with you ordering it will give you inspiration to write and to get a nice flow. But so I started with a question, for example, to engage the reader. Are you tired of reading or listening to content full of mistakes made by non-native English speakers? And this section is great. Here's why you'll wish we started working together sooner. You'll figure that out if you do your 10 ideas and start writing about why you're so amazing. And give some green ticks there. And then I give a bit of my academic background and what it taught me. And then another thing is that it's important is that your profile is optimized for two reasons. It's optimized for people reading it, which is what I've been talking about most of the time. And it's also optimized for the Upwork algorithm. So people will search data science, in this job thing, and they will want, and then the profiles that are most relevant will show up. And one way to make your profile relevant is including all the relevant keywords. So this is especially important. Coding is the most area I know about, but let's say you're a coder and you have to, and when you're looking through the jobs say, oh, you must have experience with JavaScript, and you must have experience with React, and you must have experience with these libraries. Make sure that those words are in your profile, because if they're not, it's not going to come up. Your profile is going to be weaker because of it. So I obviously do data science and machine learning. So I say topics and libraries I love to write about, and then I just listed all the keywords that you see in jobs all the time. But also, coincidentally, this is the stuff I would like to write about as well. So it's kind of a win-win-win. Then I kind of end it as a letter. I think that's quite nice, but you can end it however you would like. And then again, end with another one of those. Quote. I would recommend a video if you are confident on video. I really should have one, but I've just had so much work. I haven't had the time to do it yet. So that's that top part of the profile. The next part is your portfolio. You will notice this when you go to any top freelancer's profile. Their portfolio projects always look nice. They always have a nice little picture. If you want to get, I got all of these images from Unsplash.com, I think. Yep, so this is the internet source of freely usable images powered by creators everywhere. So these are all really, really, really high quality images that you can use for free. So yeah, use an Unsplash picture for it. And I included my old jobs on here as the portfolio items. But one thing you should definitely do is when you're doing your research into available jobs, you will start seeing some that you like and that you want to apply for. So you can search for past jobs, obviously current jobs, whatever. But one thing I thought would be cool is creating, so this is specific to data science, obviously, but creating computer vision classifiers. So this is, you build an algorithm that can see. And one thing that will really help when you're making your proposals is if I apply to a computer vision classifier job and I've already done a project like that, I can say, oh look, here's a link to a project that I did, which is exactly the same as what you want me to do. So therefore I can do it, and they'll be way more likely to hire you because of that. So therefore I created this image classifier portfolio project that I can then send along to all of the image classification jobs that I want. And it's worked pretty well. So I definitely recommend that. Another thing, the skills. So make note of all the skills that the top people on Upwork for your niche are doing, and then obviously just copy all of those. Note that the first one they are weighted in that the first one carries more importance than the last one. So put them in the order of importance to you. And then employment history. So you can see here that I've actually, I think this is quite clever. So I started writing for Thinkster in October 2019. So I just put it on here, and I'm obviously still working with them. So I just put it on here as my employment history because it was relevant. Likewise, I also landed a client in December, and whoops. Turn my alarm off, sorry. Likewise, I landed a client in December and have, kept that on there just so basically at the start, you need to make the most of everything you've got. So anything you can possibly get, you need to twist it a little bit and put it on there. So I started working for these guys in December. It was actually just an Upwork project, but I put it in my employment history just so if people scroll down, they go, oh, that's cool. And it makes you look more professional. Another thing, put your education in there, just fill it all out. And then other experiences. I'm not sure if this makes much of a difference, but I think putting as much effort as you can into your profile is only going to help. So I came up with some, these are all true. So owner of 2 times failed businesses, and I explained what it was, and then the lessons I learned from it, and then again, what I did and the lessons learned from it. I think it's important if you do have failures to say what you've learned. People like that. It's very valuable to businesses if if your ego isn't at the door, and they can say, if you make a mistake, you'll say, hey, look, I made a mistake, but I'm going to learn from it, rather than I made a mistake, so I'm going to quit, or whatever. So yeah, these are just some cool parts of my life that I thought sounded fun, which I could relate to Upwork. So for example, I was a professional gambler for over a year, made all my income playing slot machines and betting on football and horse racing. And through this, I learned incredible emotional control. Which is super important, and it instilled the philosophy in me that the day-to-day results don't matter. The most important thing is taking right action every day and focusing on success in the long run. Again, this is a philosophy that I think a lot of businesses implement, and a lot of your bosses will really appreciate that, saying hey, look, I'm just going to do the best that I possibly can today and focus on succeeding in the long run. People want that. So that's a very quick overview, or I don't think it was that quick, an overview of my profile, and hopefully that has given you some inspiration for your profile. So yeah, you need to differentiate yourself and why you're awesome. and then of course create your portfolio projects that actually match up to what you've been doing. So once you've done the research, once you've got the profile done, it's time to start applying to some jobs. Woohoo! Because if you're not applying to jobs, basically you're heavily hampered if you haven't done the research or have your profile. So definitely spend a week or two like getting all this down. It will totally be worth it. Okay, applying to jobs. Let's see. Okay, number one. When I started out, I didn't know what good numbers were. So here's the first thing. Track the jobs you apply to. So these are this is from March this year, a few months ago, and I applied to 9 jobs that day, 10 jobs the next day, 12 the next day, 4 the next day, 6, 10, 12. Basically, like applying to a lot of jobs every single day is really important. If you've picked, like I'd say the minimum you want to be applying to is maybe 5, but if you can get 10 a day that you actually feel that you're qualified to do and would enjoy doing and would provide good value to your clients, then aim for 10 a day. I think that's a nice round number and you'll almost certainly be getting results. If you're doing 10 a day and nothing is happening, you're doing something wrong and other things need to change. So that's the first thing. Track them as well, just because then you can go back and look. This is literally what I was just saying about the gambling. Focus on doing the best you can today. If I get my 10 proposals done today, boom, I know I've done exactly what I need to do. I know I've done the most I can do today. And I know that if I keep doing that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm like pretty much guaranteed to get a job. So yeah, that's the first. And you don't know when it's going to come, but you know it will come if you're taking that amount of action. Okay, the question. So when you apply to jobs, let's have a look. Let's get a job up. So it's really important, actually, okay, yeah, let's do it. So we're going to click on this, and you'll see that, obviously read the whole description. Read the description every single time. Each proposal you send will be different. However, there will be some copy-pasted parts. I will show you what I send in a minute. But you need to read all of them. Some clients will put in little sections like, if you have read this far, please start your proposal with the word pizza to know that I have read it, for example. So always read it. And yeah, step 1. Step 2 is these questions are actually, I would argue, the most important part of your proposal. Why is that? Well, when you post your ideal job, you will find out that when someone applies to a job, the first thing that the client sees is the answers are the answers to these questions. So therefore you need to be putting time and effort into these. I've noticed 100% that if I give 2-3 paragraphs to answers to these questions, nice meaty paragraphs, it goes way better. And I've got way better results because of it. Another thing is, if you scroll down, this is a nice little trick. At the start, look for names in the previous reviews. Now, this doesn't always happen, but we can see here, it was a great experience with Anand. And then Angad. Okay, so that's kind of annoying, actually, because there's two names. But I would say when I send this one, if I sent a proposal to this, I would say at the start, "Hi, Anand." And you'll notice that if anyone does that to you when you put your job on there, they will stand out. You'll go, "Oh, they know my name." That's cool. Everyone loves hearing their name, so always check for the name. And at the start of your proposal, always put their name if you can. Okay. All right, let's get into the actual proposals then. So I've got this, it's called my tactically tailored template, and it's made up of 2 parts. So the first part, so this is quite so basically it's pretty meaty. And I think more is more. Again, like with the profile, go hard, especially for jobs that you really like. However, the caveat is, don't go, if the job is 1 line, for example, then don't go super crazy hard because you don't have a lot to work with. So, okay. So for this one, I would just have like a very short start bit, and then I just put the copy paste bit. So this is the start bit, and this is actually an exceptionally long one, but we'll get into that in a second. But then this bottom bit is the copy paste bit. So you can check out my Upwork profile to see more detailed info about my experience and the reviews clients have left me after working together. I would be happy to jump on a free 30-minute phone call to hear about your project in greater detail, answer any questions you might have, and help you decide if I'm the perfect fit for this project. You can schedule a call with me here, and then that's my Calendly link. Get Calendly. It looks professional. Everyone's dealing with different time zones. Figure out when you are available for calls. This is really important. So you can see on here, for example, I'm available from 11 till 8 p.m. on Monday. But on Tuesday, I'm available from 11 until 8:30. And this will save you so much time. And well, the client will think, oh, this person's professional because they have a link. Oh, and look, and it's the same picture on here as us on their profile. They're amazing. And also, it saves you going back and forth trying to organize times with clients. They'll say, oh, well, I'm in this time zone and I can do, between these hours and these hours, like, does that work for you? Oh, no, it doesn't work for me. Well, what about this? And it's just so boring and takes up so much time, and it's really annoying. So just create Calendly. It's free. You can schedule 30-minute chats, and then it will just make your life so much easier. So get that. There's also a paid pro version, but I'm fine using this. It's cool. And then you can link up your Calendly to your calendar. So, for example, this call here. This was a call I had just yesterday for a new client for $65 an hour, which it went really well. Yeah, and it just automatically get put in. That's how it was scheduled. And so I would recommend doing that. And then obviously check your calendar each day. Don't set it up so that people can book calls on the same day. That's the only thing I would say. Figure out the times you're free, and don't set it up for the same day, because you won't always get like a notification, and so therefore you might miss some calls. So always make it so that they can only book them for the next day. And if you're trying to organize a call on the same day, then you can just do that. You can do that. That's normal way of just actually writing to them, I am free for these hours today. Does that work? And you can just organize it like that. I personally only like organizing stuff with actual clients on the day, just because usually I have client work and they pay me for the calls. I always bill for my calls because it's my time that they're taking up and I'm working on their project. Okay. So you've got Calendly, 10 a day. Yes. So when you read a job post, this is the end bit. Yeah, so schedule a call with me here. In the meantime, please let me know if you have any questions about how we could support each other. My name, and then Adam is one of the best freelancers I've ever hired. And then again, that's from Chris. And this quote is actually on my Upwork profile. That's where I've taken it from. So if you have something like that, I think that's just a really nice way to end. Like if you read a letter and at the end it says that he's one of the best, like I'd want to hire that person. So if you have that, again, put it in. Obviously, don't lie. I copy paste this at the bottom of every single one. And at the start, I basically, depending on the job, I'll say something like this, like, hey, fellow machine learning enthusiast, ! Or if it's their name, I'll say, hey, name, ! And or something about the job. Or, hey, fellow data science enthusiast, something like that. It's just a bit more engaging. You don't have to do that. But everyone just says hey or hi. So again, it makes you stand out. Then, this is the most important bit. This is the thing that will be changing each time. So the bit in between the hello and the copy paste. This is where, again, if you read the advertising solution, it will help you so much. You rephrase their words and basically say why you can do what they want. So let's give you a quick example here. So hello, I need someone that have experience on perimeter X bypass. I need it for a Python script. Please connect me only if you know about it. Thanks in advance. So I would say, and then look at the title, Web Scraping, Data Science, App Scraping, RPA Developer. I would say, hey, scroll down. They don't have a name. That's okay. I'd say, hey, fellow web scraping enthusiast. I have extensive experience working with Perimeter X Bypass. So okay, let's see. So I'm a web scraper with extensive experience working with Perimeter X Bypass, full stop. I also have deep knowledge of Python, and so would be able to help you with this web scraping project. That's what I would say for this one. And then I'll just do my copy, paste, and send. So at the end, so basically I'm reusing their words. I'm using Perimeter X Bypass. And obviously, I would only apply to this job if I did have knowledge of Perimeter X Bypass. I have no idea what this is, so I wouldn't actually apply to this job. But if I did know what it was, I would say that. And then I've also put in that I have deep knowledge. So this, again, extensive, deep, a lot. Extensive and deep are good kind of professional words to use when you want to say a lot. Again, check out thesaurus.com if you want to mix it up. Oh, also, you should probably get Grammarly Pro. Grammarly Pro is amazing, totally worth it. You can see here on the side I have Grammarly Pro, and that's just a really nice check as well to make sure your writing is on point. So yeah, definitely get Grammarly Pro. It's like $30 a month. It's really worth it. So I said, I have deep knowledge of Python and working with Python scripts. So again, you just want to use their words. And then say at the end, so therefore, I would be a good fit to help you to do blah, 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 whatever the title is. So let's look at some examples of jobs that I actually got. Why is this blue? I don't know. Okay, let's look at some proposals I sent that actually got me paid. So let's go to this. So this is one of my jobs right now. Open this up. And then we can go to, so you can see, build almost $4,500 with them. So for all of your contracts, you can see view original proposal. Cool. So we're looking for data scientists who are willing to share their knowledge to our community by building courses on specific fields in data science. Send us a message for more details. So this is I was super excited about this. And I actually, there's so much to tell you. So I have this tactically tailored template, and you'll see it's 16 pages long. And it's because so for the questions, I have, you'll see the same questions coming up over and over again. So just write a good answer to them, check it with Grammarly Pro, and then again, if appropriate, you can copy paste them in, or you can read them if they're different. If you can't copy paste it in, and take inspiration from them. So these are really important. So for example, if you have suggestions to make this project run successfully, you can just create a nice one here of saying why, this is what we'll do. We'll do an outline and then we'll break it down. I'll communicate with you. That's great. This one I really enjoy. Which challenging part of the job are you most experienced in? So I say something like, oh, well, you need to understand which part is in place. Given my breadth of experience, I'm great, whatever. What questions you have? Always ask some questions. Always ask questions. Ask at least 3 if you can. Just make some up. Again, doing that James Altucher 10 ideas a day thing will really, really help you just to come up with questions. They want questions. And then I have a link section. So I created a tiny URL, which is my Apple classifier project, which I send along to computer vision projects. And you can see here that if it loads up, look, here we go. This is a write-up of my report. It shows that I'm able to code. It shows that I know what I'm doing, and it shows the results, and if they want me to do something like that with them, they're like, oh, Adam's already done it, so we should pay him to do this. So that's cool. And then also I've created some sections. It's a bit messy, but whatever. So I knew that tutoring, I really, really, really wanted to get some tutoring work. So I spent time writing this out. So this was actually, not all of this is used, but for example, I use this all the time. So I write about all levels of Python for Thinkster, one of the world's top Python blogs. I've edited a 30,000 word ebook, takes readers from zero to advanced Python knowledge, so I know Python and machine learning inside out. So if in their job proposal it said we're looking for data science stuff, I would say I write about all levels of data science and Python programming for Thinkster. And then at the end, I wouldn't say Python and machine learning. I would say, so I know data science inside out instead. And my computer's just decided to freeze, so we'll leave that. Okay, right, we'll leave it. But yeah, so I have my tutoring message. I also have my computer vision one. And then I may have another one. I can't remember. But so yeah. So this is the client paying me $65 an hour right now. So I used this that I said, I copy pasted that in, and then I also gave an example of work where I have done it before, so this is true. One of my jobs in progress at that time was tutoring a PhD student, data science and machine learning from scratch. So that really works for this one. Also, they said, okay, I added in about being fluent in English and how I've taught many students in the past. So that's really important. And then ended it with, so I would be a great fit to create online courses for you. Again, bringing it back to what they need. They need to create online courses. So I'd be a great fit. Then I'm not sure how effective this is, but I don't think there's any harm doing it. Asking them a question. So ask the client a question, like if they're writing, if it's an article, like how many words do you want it to be? Or do you know roughly how many words you want it to be? Basically, you want them to start replying to you so that you can start messaging them, because you can't message them or do anything unless they start messaging, unless they reply. So having a question in there can be helpful. I've also given an example of an article and video I created recently, again using past work. And then this is just the copy pasted bit at the bottom. Then, okay, so why did I talk about having good English here? Because the questions, this is why. So we look at the questions they asked. What is your proficiency in the English language? And I give 2 chunky paragraphs here about why my English is good. And this is pretty much copy and pasted from this bit. I was born and raised in the UK. So it's probably not best practice to do that. I would, if you can, redo it. But I remember, I'd already spent a lot of time applying for this, writing this out. So I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just kind of copy this, paste this in, and then I'm going to add this other little mini paragraph in as well. And have you taught before? Yes. Again, look, 2 paragraphs here. Really important. It just shows that you're engaged. It shows that you're putting the effort in. They want to see that, and they want to. More is more. So one of my jobs in progress is this. Again, this is like a copy paste from the up above. So hopefully that gives you quite an overview of actually applying for jobs. The next thing, the final thing actually you need to do when you're applying to jobs is learn about this thing called Blogtrotter. So let's Google that, or DuckDuckGo that. Click on Blogtrotter. So what this is amazing, and it delivers updates from all your favorite news feeds and blogs directly to your email inbox, giving you the flexibility to stay updated whilst on the go. Yummy. So create an account. It's free. Oh wait, no, it's not free. This is the one you need to get. You need to get this one. You need to get Lite. Okay, this is the one. It's €3.99 a month, or €40 a year. This will, again, make you thousands of dollars. You need to get Blogtrotter. Why is that? Because if you're one of the first 1 to 3 people to apply to a job, you have a way higher chance of actually getting the job. So therefore, you need to know when new jobs come in. And what Blogtrotter does is it basically will send you an email whenever a new job is posted that is relevant for you. So what you can do is, if you go on Find Jobs, I'm just going to type in data science. Oh wait. So Find Jobs, go to this page here. search for a job that is relevant for you, that you actually want. Search for a keyword, put it in quotes. So data science, and you'll see there's this little thing here. You click on it, and then click on RSS. This gives you a link. Basically, copy and paste this URL into Blogtrotter. And what it does, you can see all the ones I have here. So for artificial intelligence in the category of writing, business intelligence, chatbots in the category of writing, computer vision for everything, data analyst, everything, data science writing, data science all. And you can create, if you do subscribe to a feed, paste the URL in here, and then schedule real time, and then just press feed me. It will send you an email. When you set up Blogtrotter, you have to put your email in. It will send you an email every single time a new job is posted in that category. How insane is this? So every single morning you can wake up and you can just crank out like 5 to 10 proposals straight away. And likewise at lunchtime you can see what has been added in the last hour or two, and again you can just crank out more proposals, and at the end of the day you can do it again. And this again is maximizing your chances here of making money. I would also recommend getting Gmail. I used to have Hotmail and it's just nowhere near as good, so I would recommend getting Gmail. And you can create a tag for Blogtrotter, and you'll see that there's 1,800 here. I actually have just paused all of mine because I'm literally full up with work, and you just get so many emails. So today is a Saturday, and look at all these I've had today. Like how many is this? Maybe 20 jobs that have been posted. And what you can do is you can see, and you see exactly what it is. Expert Node.js developer. No, that's not me. Delete. Machine learning. Set up machine learning project and explain the process. Sounds great. And then you can read this and say, does this seem good or not? Click this link. Boom. Opens in a new tab. And then I would recommend just like going, and then you can delete it. Whoa. Artificial intelligence require a competitor analysis of against my startup in the field. Do I read this? I like it. Yeah, cool. Delete. And then basically go through all of the new ones and then go through in order and submit proposals to them all using your tactically tailored template. That will just help you like get loads and loads and loads of proposals out. And what I do is I just take a screenshot like this of each one, and I put that screenshot into these folders, and label them like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, just to track. So it gives me something. I see that I've been successful that day because I've done that. So that is going to help you so much. The final thing, there's actually a couple more sections here. So last 2 sections will be sales calls once you're actually there and doing the work. So once you have sent your proposals and someone replies and they say, yeah, you sound great, let's have a call. They've booked a call because you use Calendly, get Calendly. You jump on a sales call with them. Now, this, again, like there's some overarching things you can do here to become more confident. So I've worked 2 phone sales jobs in my life, one as a recruiter and then one doing like cold calling, selling car and home insurance. So I know how to, so I'm quite confident in that way. If you're not, I'd recommend maybe try doing some drama, try doing some improv comedy, do Toastmasters for public speaking, go out and meet new people. If you're a guy, learn how to like pick up girls, learn how to, date, because it's so important to be able to sell yourself, because they will be able to hear on the phone your confidence in them. Like all of my sales, I haven't had any like difficulty with any of my calls recently. Like the previous calls I've been the last like 4 or 5 I've had have all been like, yeah, we're gonna hire you. It's just been like it's just been like, yeah, obviously we're gonna hire you. Like, of course, there hasn't really been a debate about it. There hasn't been like, oh, we'll get back to you. They're just like, yeah, like we're definitely going to hire you. That's where you can get there as well. You can do it. So yeah, invest in your social skills, learn how to speak confidently. And again, doing all that profile research and writing that sick profile will mean that you go into the call knowing I'm a great fit for this job. I'm going to really over deliver for the client. I'm amazing. Of course they should hire me. So that's just kind of some background stuff that will really help you. Actual tactics to do on the sales call is, number one, over everything, is listen to them. Have a little chat at the start, be able to chat and socialize, make some jokes, whatever, and then say, all right, shall we get into it? And then say, okay, so tell me about your problem. Tell me about this project. And they will just unload on you for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And make notes. This is really important to me. You may not need to, but like whenever I'm on a sales call, I'm literally writing down everything they are saying. And because I'm a writer, maybe I can write fast, but this is really important because once they stop speaking, say anything else, and then keep going, and then anything else. And once they finally have stopped, then say, oh, cool. So it sounds like blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like, and then you can read back through your notes and kind of repeat to them what they said. This is really important. This is, again, another book I recommend is called Never Split the Difference. This, again, is another life-changing book, one of the best books on negotiation out there. And he recommends you do this. This guy, Chris Voss, was the head of negotiation for the FBI or CIA, and he did like hostage negotiation as his actual job. Pretty crazy. But yeah, that will help you. But basically, when someone summarizes to us what we've just said, we feel understood. So they'll be like, wow, this person has the skills and he also understands, or he or she understands me. Amazing. And so this happened to me yesterday. So I was talking to this client and I was like, tell me about the project. And he said, we're building out the data team. The person will be on their own. And there's so much work to do. There's so many business problems, and they won't have that much guidance. And we're still very early stage, so that they'll have to figure it out on their own. And there's a lot of like sensitive data there as well. And I said, oh, okay, so it sounds like you want that person to be like a self-starter. And he said, yeah, I do. And I said, well, that's great. I'm a perfect fit for that because I literally quit my job and taught myself how to code. We are literally having this conversation because I'm a self-starter and because I've been teaching myself how to code up to a very high level that we are now, I'm now good enough to be talking to you about. And he was like, wow, that's amazing. So there's loads of things like that. There aren't where they say things. If you've written it down, you can then read back through and say, oh, you said this. You said you need someone who's happy working on their own. That's great. I love working on my own. As I said, I'm a self-starter. I've been teaching myself how to code. I did all of this by myself. I didn't have anyone holding my hand. So therefore, I'm more than happy to work on my own. I don't need that guidance. He was like, oh, wow, that's great. So if you write it down, it's very similar to the proposal writing. Use their words, not against them, but like say them back at them and say, yeah, you said you want this. Well, I can provide this because A, B, and C. So yes, that's basically how the sales call will go. And all of mine are just like, oh, well, you said this, I'm this. And they go, oh, cool. I'm like, oh, so when can you start? Or what is your timeline for this? What are the next steps? But basically it's me saying why I'm so amazing for this job and why they should hire me and why I would be able to, give them a killer experience. And they're always like, oh, okay, cool. And I say my hourly rate. So this is another thing, right? Aim high. You can get paid a lot of money. I've only been coding for a year and people are paying me $65 an hour. You can get paid a lot of money. I started off with some $25 an hour coding work, but now I'm going big. Like, have big ambitions, and I still feel nervous saying that people should pay me $65 an hour. So yesterday, this was actually with a client that are already paying me $50 an hour, but to do writing. And they said, oh yeah, so we'll do like the same arrangement as you already have. And I said, oh, by same arrangement, do you mean you'll pay me the same? And he said, yes. And I thought, I want to be paid more. And I said, oh, well, so since I started working with you, I've actually increased my rates. And my rates are now $65 an hour. And my heart was going. I was like, oh, gosh, like, is he going to say no? Is he going to buy this? And he said, oh, so that's your rate, is it? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, okay, well, I'll have to get back to you and double check that, but that should be fine. And I was like, cool. So I just got a $15 an hour raise. just by asking for it. So go for it. Before, in kind of like February, when I hadn't done any of this stuff, like a few months ago, I was saying like ridiculously high amounts. So by doing the research into the profiles, you will learn like what a good amount is. And like, so I wouldn't say, oh yeah, my rate's $100 an hour, because I know I'm not worth $100 an hour now, but I'm pushing 65. And so that's what I want to aim for. In future, you probably shouldn't ever really negotiate your rate. You should have a rate that you know you're worth and you know is fair, and stick to that. So if he comes back and he says, look, we can only do 50, I'll have to think about it, because it is quite a lot of work in this particular case. But like, I've had writing clients where I've said, this is my rate, and they've said, oh, can you do this or this? And I'm like, no, like my work is worth this amount. Negotiate hard, read, never split the difference. You are worth it. You're worth a lot of money. You're skilled. You're amazing. People should be paying you for that. You shouldn't be like scrimping on your rates. And if people are negotiating you down, it's your fault. You're letting them negotiate you down. If you say, this is my rate, and just stop, most people go, okay. Like, I had a client, actually, I was tutoring him, and it was $65 an hour. It was my first ever $65 an hour client. And he said, I'm not sure. We did like 2 or 3 hours, and then he was like, oh, look, like, I'm not sure I can really stick to $65 an hour. Like, could you bring it down to 50? And I was like, I really want this client. Like, I don't have much work on right now. But I said no. Like, my rate's $65 an hour, and I was willing to walk away. And he went, okay, then $65 an hour it is, and then he just paid me that. So stick to your rates. Don't drop them. You deserve it. So yeah, that's the sales calls. I'd recommend reading some Grant Cardone. Absolute killer salesman. Again, read The Advertising Solution, read Never Split the Difference. But the 10X Rule, amazing book. Be Obsessed or Be Average, one of my all-time favorite books. I've listened to it on Audible like 7 or 8 times. Amazing. If you get the audiobook, actually, I would say it's it's the best audiobook I've ever listened to. Okay, finally then, we've gone through everything. We've got the good profile. We've done the research. We've done the proposals. We've done the sales calls. It's now time to actually get paid and do some work. Right, let me have a final sip of water. This is it. So, how do you actually do the work? So this is a first bullet point here. You might like roll your eyes at this, but these will all change your life in positive ways, and you know they will, and it will just have a positive impact on your work as well. So if you give up coffee, if you give up alcohol, weed, if you get enough sleep, if you stop going on social media, if you get enough exercise, if you start meditating for at least 20 minutes a day, if you read every day, if you drink a lot of water, if you don't eat sugar, if you eat healthily, if you socialize, and you stop watching the news, stop watching YouTube videos, stop wasting your time on video games, all of these will have a hugely positive impact on the amount of money you can earn. So I, for example, don't do any of these things, or rather, the things that say no, I don't do them. So I recently quit coffee 4 weeks ago, and it's been amazing and life-changing. Would recommend doing some research on that. But the first few weeks will suck, and you won't really be able to do anything. But honestly, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, I haven't had any caffeine today, and I'm like bringing it here for this video right now. So it's incredible. I'm not going to harp on that too much, but you know that all of those will have a positive impact on your life. And even if you just do one of them, like, it can be a chain to improve them all. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Another thing, focus, right? For me, this is the thing I do. This is the work I'm doing. I'm not doing a million other things. So I was recently I started a podcast during the COVID quarantine with my friend, and it was really awesome. And it was taking up maybe 1 to 2 hours a day. And it was great during quarantine because we didn't have anything else to do. But now quarantine's over and it's time to get back to work, and there's other social things that I want to do. It actually become a distraction. And so my core focus is on Upwork and doing everything I can to make money there and deliver for my clients. And then I know how I like to relax. I like to talk to people. I like to do some exercise. I like to eat. Yeah, I've got a pretty simple life, but figure out what you need. Do you need to, like, you shouldn't be doing loads and loads of things. You shouldn't be trying to be successful on Upwork whilst also building a YouTube channel, whilst also having a podcast, whilst also learning Kung Fu, whilst also learning how to skateboard, whilst also, traveling all the time. Like, it's too much. You need to focus on the essential things, and then you will succeed in them. A great book for that is called The One Thing. This is really short, and basically tells you about, why you should focus on one thing. Another great book is Deep Learning by Cal Newport. Not Deep Learning. Oops, that's mine. It's Deep Work by Cal Newport. And this is the idea. Deep Work. And basically he tells you like that getting into work and getting focused and producing your best work, basically rules for focused success in a distracted world. All the things I said up here about, coffee, alcohol, social media, news, sugar, all this, it's all just distractions, okay? So remove the distractions out and you'll be able to focus. He says that the first 4 hours of the day are usually the best. So I would say a good schedule is, if you still want more work, the first hour of your day should be applying to proposals, and then maybe if you can, like half an hour again at the end of the day to see what ones have come in. But first hour of the day, get that done. When I worked as a recruiter, every single day in London, we would do an hour. The first hour of our day was sales calls every single day, regardless of what we had on, because getting new business is really important. You should never stop getting new leads. So yeah, get that in, and then the first 3 to 4 hours then of work, you should focus on the hardest thing for your clients, and you should focus on client work. Yeah, that's it. And then if you want more, then do some more, maybe portfolio projects or more applications later on in the day. But make sure that your best hours are used for the most important things. And the most important things, if you have client work, is doing the client work and doing the absolute best job you possibly can do it. Over deliver. I say this in my profile, that I will over deliver for you and I will meet the deadlines. Or commit to that. When you've said you're going to do that, you need to make sure you do it. You need to make sure that the work you're delivering is of exceptional quality, because that's why they're paying you a lot of money. For example, I've written a lot of articles for Thinkster, so some of them are 1,500 words, some of them are 3,000 words, and I have never submitted an article that is less. Never, not once. It will never happen. Every single article I've submitted has been on exactly the target or over. I would not submit an article that is 1,499 words. I would add a word in somewhere. He has asked for 1,500 words. He's going to get 1,500 words. I also think that constant communication with your client is really important, and giving them regular updates. I tell them on the sales call that I will be giving them daily updates about my progress. They need to know. We need to be in constant communication. But number one, because if you have a relationship with someone, they're going to feel happier around you and therefore think that your work is better. But also they will be able to provide more guidance each day. And also, if you build a relationship, it's more likely that the work is going to be successful. It's more likely they're going to hire you again in the future, and more likely that they're going to leave you a positive 5-star review. So yeah, do the work. And then finally, get the review as well. This is the final point. Once you have done the work, get the review. Ask them, what is it you can say? Basically, it's against Upwork's terms of service to ask for a positive review. So you have to say something like once it's completed, you could say something like, is there anything else you would need from me in order to feel happy leaving a good review? Something like that. Never, 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 never ask for a positive review. It's against Upwork terms of service. You can get banned, and then obviously you won't be able to make any money with all of this excellent advice. So yeah, getting a good review is important. Leave a good review for them as well. And yeah, that's it. Whew, that was a lot. And I know there was a lot there. I know it was kind of a bit all over the place, but hopefully that gave you some hopefully that was valuable to you. And with this, like, I know if you apply everything here, you will definitely be making like thousands of dollars every single week with Upwork, like I'm doing. And, you know, once you hit to 10K a month, then, you know, maybe we can talk about like scaling and changing it up. But you can do it. You have the tools. You know exactly what you need to do. Get all the things I told you to get. Get the books if you like. The books would be amazing. Start reading, start applying, cut out all the nonsense, and rewatch this if you have to. Like, there's probably some stuff you missed the first time, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope this was helpful, and I know it's going to make you a lot of money. So best of luck, and I will see you in the next one.